LinkedIn presents.
If you can open yourself up to get honest feedback, it helps in two ways. First, getting blunt feedback helps you get better faster. Second, if you actually take that feedback, the people who gave it become invested in your success. This one simple fact is the core of the relationships I've built with dozens and dozens of mentors in my life.
Happy Friday. I'm Michael Kovnat, and this is the Next Big Idea Daily, quick life lessons from the best new nonfiction. Here's the question for today. Are you the author of your own life story? Or does your path in life owe at least as much to those who've helped you along the way? Robert Reffkin argues that we tend to undervalue the contributions of our predecessors and our mentors. And Robert should know, as the co-founder and CEO of the multi-billion-dollar real estate company Compass, he's acutely aware that his success story is really the story of his great relationships. Robert's going to share the key insights from his book, No One Succeeds Alone. Learn everything you can from everyone you can, right after this quick break.
Hey you, I'm Andrew Seaman. Do you want a new job? Or do you want to move forward in your career? Well, you should listen to my weekly show called Get Hired with Andrew Seaman. We talk about it all, and it's waiting for you, yes you, wherever you get your podcasts.
No one succeeds alone. In our society, it's easy to forget how interconnected we all are. It's easy to think it's all about you, how hard you work, and how smart you are. But we're all running one single leg in a relay race that began long ago and will continue long after we're gone. I've had more mentors than anyone else I know. Perhaps because I didn't have a father, I sought out more meaningful relationships with mentors than others did, and stayed close to the ones who really seemed to care about me. My mom was my first mentor, and the most significant. But I wouldn't have made it through elementary school without the encouragement of people like my fifth grade teacher who looked past my skin color and saw my potential. I wouldn't have been able to get into or graduate from the best high school in San Francisco without the support of a half dozen nonprofits that taught me about college, entrepreneurship, and how to obsess about every possible opportunity. I can point to 20 different moments in my life where my future hung in the balance, even though I didn't always recognize it at the time. If those doors hadn't been opened, if connections hadn't been made, if those kindnesses hadn't been extended, I would not be where I am today. And I suspect the same is true for all of us. Every mother is an entrepreneur. Being a mother and being an entrepreneur are the exact same in so many ways. In both cases, you've got the big dream for the future. You're always thinking about tomorrow. You know that to get from here to there are no shortcuts. You're just going to have to wake up every morning and put in the work. A lot of the things you have to do are both repetitive and thankless, both way below your pay grade and nearly impossible to hand off to anyone else. You're frequently unsure whether you're doing it right or not, but you keep going because you know that others are counting on you with their literal or figurative lives. Oftentimes, it all feels impossible, but giving up is never an option. And then there are these moments of absolute joy and this sense of satisfaction that what you're doing truly matters. Every mother is an entrepreneur, and every entrepreneur has a lot to learn from the resilience, resourcefulness, creativity, care, passion, and positivity of mothers. Feedback is a gift. Linda Mornell, who ran a nonprofit in the Bay Area that I participated in as a teenager, gave me a lot of advice. But the biggest thing Linda taught me was that if I waited for the perfect person to give me constructive criticism in a way that's easy for me to hear, I'd be waiting a long time and I'd miss out on a lot of learning. But if I could learn to brush off their tone and their delivery and look for the valuable advice underneath it, I would learn more and I'd get better much more quickly. The reality is that honest feedback is a gift, but most people hate it. So people usually avoid giving it, especially to people who come from underrepresented communities. You have to actually say to people, I want you to give me the kind of feedback other people aren't going to give me. I know it's hard to give, but don't worry, I can take it. If you can open yourself up to get honest feedback, it helps in two ways. First, getting blunt feedback helps you get better faster. Second, if you actually take that feedback, the people who gave it become invested in your success. This one simple fact is the core of the relationships I've built with dozens and dozens of mentors in my life. Surround yourself with people who give you energy. There are two kinds of people in this world: people who give you energy and people who take it away. When I've collaborated with colleagues who don't inspire me or challenge me or give me a reason to be my best, work has always felt like an endless slog. But when I've surrounded myself with people who do give me energy, it feels like there's always enough time in the day. In 2009, I decided to start a nonprofit to help students who were first in their families to go to college and who were living below the poverty line, which at the time in New York City was around $29,000. To succeed, I knew I needed to attract mentors to help the students and donors to support the nonprofit. But every potential mentor was already working long hours at their day jobs, and every potential donor had many other important causes to support. But these students and their stories gave everyone energy: mentors, donors, board members, and me as well. Their life stories were inspiring. Their passion was infectious. And the progress they made while working with us was tangible, visible, and transformational. I felt the energy in every board meeting, which often would go until 1 or 2 in the morning, asking the same question over and over. What can we do to be better? How else could we help these students achieve their dreams? That is the power of energy. Love your customers more than your own ideas. In high school, I started a DJ business, Rude Boy Productions. It was incredibly successful and I made over $100,000. But I wasn't the most skilled DJ. I didn't know or own more music than the other DJs. I didn't have the loudest speakers or the best turntables. But my competitive advantage was that unlike most DJs who played the music that they liked, I would play whatever the guests wanted. I'd read the room and choose the tracks that got people moving. Whenever I felt the energy start to fade, I'd switch it up quickly and get things jumping again. And to make sure the person who hired me was happy at the end of the night, I pledged to play up to 20 songs they requested. I even promised them their money back if I didn't. I called it the Rude Boy Productions Guarantee. I worked hard, but that's not why I succeeded and became the most utilized DJ in the Bay Area private school scene. I succeeded by listening to my customers, caring about them, and prioritizing their happiness over my own musical taste. Even though I was a moderately cool high schooler, and they were often just middle schoolers. The secret is to know that you don't know the secret, but your clients and customers do.
Thank you, Robert. Okay, listeners, you can get yourself a copy of No One Succeeds Alone using the link in the episode notes. If you got something out of today's show, please leave us a 5-star rating and a glowing review to help others find it. That does it for us this week. These episodes were written by me, Michael Kovnat, and edited by Kayla Bissinger. The Next Big Idea Daily is part of the LinkedIn Podcast Network. We'll see you Monday.